head coach, so first time in the playoffs as a head coach, leading a quarterback who's going to the playoffs for the first time as well. But you just heard Brian Dable, cool, calm, collected. He seems to know exactly what it's going to take, at least mentally, to get there. What do you think is the key for them?
Yeah, Sage, listen, for the New York football Giants on offense, Daniel Jones is going to be critical. You know, the one thing he's done a great job of this year is limiting the turnovers, but also just his utilization of his legs, you know, whether it be design runs and him just escaping the pocket and making things happen. That's just been like such a great asset for this New York football Giants offense, particularly the fact that they don't have many weapons on the outside. So the fact that Daniel Jones is able to use his legs and able to pick up additional yardage and move the chains, that's really been a boon for this Giants offense.
And he mentioned the last time they played, which was Christmas Eve, and it came down to that 61-yard field goal at the very last second there for the Minnesota Vikings to win it. So when you head into this game on Sunday, Damien, and you look at both teams, there's always a factor that ends up being the reason why you win or lose. What's that factor going to be for either team?
Yeah, I'm going to go with on the defensive side of the football, the Giants, their ability to pressure Kirk Cousins. You know, when they sent 5 or more players, they really got after Kirk Cousins in the last matchup. So we know the New York Giants have guys along their front four that can really get after the Dexter Lawrence, the Kayvon Thibodeau, all those guys. But we know that defensive coordinator Wink Martindale likes to send pressure. He's, you know, has one of the most heavily blitzed defenses in the league. So when they dial up those blitzes, they tend to be successful. So that's going to be something that Kirk Cousins is going to have to watch out for.
For sure. Two teams that really got off to extremely hot starts. The Giants, of course, got a little quieted down there towards the second half of the season, but we're going to see what happens in this one as the Giants are back in the pool. Welcome to Sports Center. Jay Harrison, Sage Steele with you for the next 2 hours. Want to start with some breaking news, and it is really good news for Damar Hamlin. The Bills have announced that he has officially been released from the hospital in Buffalo. Yeah, 9 days after suffering cardiac arrest, of course, on the field in Cincinnati. His head coach, Sean McDermott, he's about to address the media, so we're going to have that for you shortly. What a way to start.
Yeah, meanwhile, we have some clarity on the Dolphins QB position moments ago from head coach Mike McDaniel. Tua will be out this week, and the team will proceed with Skylar Thompson as its starting QB at practice today. We'll have more on that coming up.
And we are going to await word on Lamar Jackson. I mean, what about him? Will he be able to play against the Bengals? Ravens practice set to begin at 1:30 Eastern time today, but we're going to go to Baltimore in just a few minutes to find out if we should expect Lamar to participate. Lots to get to on SportsCenter right now.
This is SportsCenter.
The Nets holding their first practice this morning since Kevin Durant's injury diagnosis, what KD's teammates were saying today. Steph Curry back on the court for the Warriors despite losing in his return, while Golden State finished with confidence in Curry. And if you missed Stephen A's take on whether Dak Prescott or Mike McCarthy has more to prove for the Cowboys this week, we will have that in 15 minutes on SportsCenter now.
Mike McCarthy loses this game. Mike McCarthy's going to be out of the job.
I was really comfortable. I'm not going to lie to you.
We begin with some football. Quarterback questions ahead of this weekend's playoff games, and we just got an answer from the Dolphins right before the start of the show. Tua Tagovailoa, we're going to talk about Lamar Jackson too, but Tua Tagovailoa will not play on Sunday against the Bills. They have been without him since he went down in their Christmas Day loss to the Packers. His head coach, Mike McDaniel, just finished addressing the media with more on Tua's health and his quarterback situation as a whole. Here he is, Mike McDaniel, new on SportsCenter.
As of today, Tua has not been cleared by doctors to resume football activities on the field with his teammates. So because of that and because of the time that he's missed, I can rule him out for Sunday. He was an incredible part of the entire season. I think eight of our wins were as a result of him playing quarterback amongst the team. Teddy is still working his way back. His biggest thing is he knew that he had to be in a position where he had to be fully functional on Sunday. That took some strain and really just some guts and work ethic to, that's not an easy thing to do. As a result, we will be approaching the game today, the Wednesday game, as Skylar Thompson as our starting quarterback.
All right, take a look at this. It's been kind of a mixed bag for the Dolphins when it comes to quarterbacks this season. Obviously, Tua's their guy. He had it going early on. Teddy Bridgewater filled in before he got hurt, and then Skylar Thompson. Miami 8-5 with Tua as the starter, 1-3 with Bridgewater and Skylar Thompson combined as the backups. And really no surprise with those numbers as we say hello to Marcus Spears. And again, Marcus, that from Mike McDaniel coming down just a couple minutes ago, right as the show was beginning. Unfortunately, Tua is not going to be able to go. Not sure if we're too surprised with that at this point. He says as of right now, Skylar Thompson is his guy as that dislocated pinky finger on Teddy. It's just not quite there yet. So your reaction is what with Skylar Thompson going into the playoffs as a rookie?
Sage, I'm sad.
Yeah.
For real. Like, I'm sad. This is a team that invested, and we saw some of that investment coming to fruition. Obviously, Tua's situation with concussions it's a sad situation, right? This team went to Buffalo with Tua and almost came out of there with a win in some very adverse weather. We talked about how cold it would be. Could they play and perform at that level? They played well. Lost the game, but they played well in that game. And look, let's make it as simple as this. Tua is the best quarterback on this team.
Sure.
He gives them the best chance to win. I do not believe, all right, it's football and miracles happen. I do not believe that the Miami Dolphins can go to Buffalo with Skylar Thompson as their starting quarterback and win playoff game. I don't think Mike McDaniel believes it. I don't think the guys in that locker room believe it. I'm taking you in the locker room as a player. All right? There are reasons why you have a starter, a backup, and guys that you may have to call up in case of an emergency. You know what you never want to do, Sage, is call up in case of an emergency.
Yeah.
And that's what the Miami Dolphins are having to do at the most inopportune time that you could be playing football. Kudos to them for getting to the playoffs. They played well. They made moves. They got Tyreek Hill. They signed Chubb, traded for Bradley Chubb in the season. So their trajectory is in the right area. But right now, like you got a team in Buffalo, not only that is motivated, they're good.
Absolutely.
They're really good. And you're going to play them at home in the playoffs with Josh Allen, and you're playing a quarterback that you had no plans on playing at all this season, let alone in a divisional round playoff game.
Yeah, rookie,
I mean, wild card.
Wild card game, yeah. Rookie just playing these 2 games out of Kansas State just a couple of months ago. Does this change, Marcus, if somehow Teddy Bridgewater and that pinky can get healthy enough to go?
I think you have a better chance. I think, Sage, listen, I mean, we talking. You're not picking Miami if Tua was playing, right? But you are saying that they have a chance to win this game based on what we saw, right? Buffalo is a good football team. Like they have to go up against the Bills. Like
Marcus, as a player, then, if you deep down don't believe, then how do you get through the next couple days and
you go. Here's what you do as a defense. You say, guys, if we don't create 2 or 3 turnovers, we got no shot. So, Sage, it's human nature. We're probably going to take more chances. Now, it could burn us or it could turn in our favor. We're probably going to try to do more than we usually do. And people say, well, playoff intensity picks up. It's football. You're playing with high intensity anyway. But this defense, the onus is going to absolutely go on them. And they are going to have to, because turnovers matter in football, no matter who playing quarterback. They are going to have to go into this game saying, fellas, if we don't create 2 or 3, and give us short fields, steal possessions from the Buffalo Bills. That's the message, if I'm the defensive coordinator, that I'm giving to my guys. And throughout, as the player in that group, that's the message that we're trying to get to. It could hurt you, but what else option do you have?
Right.
Because I don't think, right, based on what I've been watching all season long, the film that we studied, that the Miami Dolphins are going to go in there thinking that they can score with the Buffalo Bills. This is going to be about the Miami defense, and which is fair because that's where a lot of their money is, with Xavier Howard, Wilkins up front. You sign Bradley Chubb, like I mentioned. Those guys are going to have to play the game of their life and create situations and opportunities for this offense.
But yeah, they didn't score last week against the Jets, that's for sure. What was that, 11-6 final score? Yeah. But here's the thing. They have nothing to lose.
No, nothing.
Nobody's expecting them to have a shot, and maybe they can take that.
And I'm sorry, Miami, I'm one of those that don't think you got a shot in this situation.
I don't think you're alone.
Yeah.
Sometimes you are, probably not with this. Okay, the other quarterback, a lot of questions about the other team, the Baltimore Ravens. Jay?
Yes, they just get to that. Lamar Jackson, he's missed the Ravens' last 5 games with a knee injury. All eyes are on whether he'll practice this week ahead of Baltimore's Super Wildcard Weekend matchup with Cincinnati. John Harbaugh saying Jackson is, quote, working super hard, unquote, to return for the start of the postseason. It is safe to say it's been a struggle on offense for the Ravens without Lamar Jackson. Baltimore averaging 10 points less per game without the 2019 MVP.